Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Jonathan and this is J.M. Faupel, and he is a musician, a YouTuber, and a marketing specialist.
Yes.
Is there anything else that I missed there?
I think that covers it.
That about covers it?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just jump right into it.
So for this video, we're going to be going over not necessarily advertisement or anything like that, but fostering a market for your products.
And it's important when you've already published your book, right? Or you're at least looking to do that, how to market yourself. It's important to separate your personal social media sites, I suppose, and make a dedicated one for your book. Because as personal as this is to you, it's not going to be that personal to other people that you're trying to get them to buy your book. So at that point, you become a salesman and not just a writer. So kind of these strategies are geared to help you find the way to do that, I suppose.
Right. Having dedicated fan pages just makes practical sense anyway, because as you start gaining traction as a writer, as your audience starts growing, you don't want people just reaching out to you on your personal pages where you have your friends, where you have your family, and it just gets cluttered after that. You want to have a space where you can interact with your audience and you can make it on your terms, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, that's like, for example, I have my personal websites, I have my Facebook, and on my Instagram, though, it used to be my personal one, right. And now I've kind of made it mainly my writer Instagram. But I will post things that are more personal because right. I do want people to see, a little bit into my life and say, hey, I'm kind of just a normal guy,
It's a humanizing element, and I think people appreciate that.
Right, okay. So what about you? Do you have any personal sites?
I do. I have a dedicated Facebook page to both my marketing consultation and to my music. But my Instagram page is really just sort of personal, but it's geared towards my music, me as a musician. But I'm pretty clear about that up front, and your page, it's pretty clear that yours is about you as a writer, and you get to see sort of into your life, but that's more just you as a person. You as a writer are this.
Yeah. Also a person.
Yeah, also a person.
Surprisingly enough.
Because writers are barely people.
Barely. That's true.
Another advantage to having dedicated fan pages is the way to maximize the way you reach people. So we were talking about having dedicated Instagram pages or like dedicated Facebook pages. Well, the way you interact with your audience, there's a few things you can do to spread the reach. Instagram, for example, has an incredibly good free marketing strategy for you as writers, and that's hashtags. I think hashtags are supremely underused, even though you see them on basically every post. I think as a marketing strategy, it is incredibly underutilized.
I don't really use hashtags that much, so that's probably something I can do a little bit better in, most definitely.
Every time you post, I would recommend using a minimum of 10 hashtags, 5 relevant to the post and 5 relevant to your business, your brand, or your particular book. Another good way to get people to interact is by adding in the caption, tag a friend who you think might be interested in this kind of thing. That spreads the reach by maybe just one person, but that's one person who might just be interested in the page and could grow your market from there.
Another aspect of marketing that is important for us writers is collaboration with other artists and experts. So that really just has to happen with time, because if you just start up your YouTube channel or your Facebook, that's not going to be an automatic that people want to be in videos with you or want to share content with you. But as you become reliable and consistent with your videos and your content, and obviously your books, because that's the backbone. As a writer, that's the backbone of everything you do, right. Is your book, and it all comes down to that. If you're building that core audience, it'll be easier for you to reach out to other people and say, hey, I'm a YouTuber, I've been doing YouTube for X amount of years, and this is my consistency, and your content is similar to mine, so let's collaborate about it. So this is the first collab I've ever done,
right.
And I've had my YouTube channel for about almost 1.5 years now. So it takes a lot of time, but I'm also reaching out to other writers that are, I guess a couple of them are well known. They have thousands of subscribers, and a couple of them aren't so well known. They have about the same amount of subscribers that I do, but it shouldn't matter, because what should matter is the sharing of the content, sharing of the community, and the building up of each other as we do that along. The world is already a cutthroat enough society.
Right.
I don't believe in doing that on my channel. I don't believe in doing that personally. So that's kind of the model that I run is just, hey, if you want to do it, if you want to have fun, great. No, well, that's cool too,
Right.
that's kind of the attitude that I have when I go into these things. Is like, yeah, I mean, I'd love to, and let's see what happens, you know?
Yeah, I agree, and it's all about having fun for me. And there's the obvious benefit of the other person's audience seeing your content and your audience seeing their content. So it's just a great platform for audience expansion. Another part of this point is networking. Getting to know people, getting to know people who might be interested in collaboration. Don't burn bridges is an important part.
Yeah.
And look for people who may be interested in that. But you can't do that unless you're networking, unless you're getting to know people.
And let me tell you something. Writers, we're a prickly bunch, and we're jealous too. Like it's insane. Now I'm jealous too. Like I get really, sometimes when I see someone publish a book and it's young adult, my first thing is like, great, another young adult. That's the last thing that we need, you know, is less creativity, the dumbing down of stories. Now, and that's the thing, I don't give them the benefit of the doubt that, hey, they think their story is unique, you know, and so, and the same thing goes for me. Like, they see my book and they're like, wow, dark fantasy? No one's ever going to read that. Right. You know, so I've got to put myself in their shoes and be like, you know, it doesn't matter as long as they're putting art out. And that's really the big thing. It's like, it's really hard to throw crap at somebody who's putting themselves out there.
Sort of piggybacking off of the beginning of that story, writers are a prickly bunch and jealous and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm a guitarist, and anytime someone asks me for advice, do you have any tips or anything like that, I say, stop playing guitar. I don't need the competition.
Yeah, and I mean that's always something that's like, wow, if I'm going to give this person a tip that'll help them get better than me, that's going to suck. But at the same time, the likelihood that they'll make it is pretty low too, because it's low for us too, you know, like it's pretty low for me that I'm ever going to get like mainstream, but of course it's funny because I don't actually want to become mainstream. I like the niche, but I like my small group of followers and viewers. Sure. I'd rather be that like hipster kind of book that's like, oh, well, yeah, you read the next Harry Potter, but have you read, you know, that that's what I want, is that underhanded book that goes against the grain. So, I mean, whenever someone asks me for tips, I try to encourage them to write, I try to encourage them to publish, and the other writers that do know me, I'm very much an advocate of that, and regardless of whether or not they're going to make it, obviously there's still the jealousy aspect, because I'm like, you know, I really... young adult, you know, and it's just so much of that. It just bothers me. It bothers me, but I don't know.
Not to make this sound self-serving, but when you collaborate with someone, or if you do give advice, you do help lift someone else off the ground in their journey. They might do the same for you if they gain traction pretty quickly, maybe faster than you. It's possible they're not going to forget what you did for them, and they'll bring you up with them. Yeah. So again, not to make that sound self-serving, but
it is a pro, I think,
it's definitely
helping other people. I mean, that's the whole idea of community, right? Is lending a rope to someone and they can pull you in.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's part of the reason. Yeah. So important marketing strategy, if you're wanting to, I guess, raise the awareness of your novel and also build your audience, is to have like a home page, a place where a home base, I guess, a place where you post the majority of your things, and then you have other sites where you can post other different things. So for example, for me, I would say YouTube is my primary, I guess, what's the word?
Platform.
That's it, yes. is my primary platform. And then from there, I'll post to Facebook, to Instagram, but I won't post always the same thing across all of them.
There's a definite benefit to cross-posting. You want to post the most important things on all platforms. And what you were saying about a home base is absolutely spot on. So like mine, as a musician, YouTube just serves as a good platform for me. And then next is probably my Instagram, and then my Facebook. The good part about building your audience is not just the number of people that you have, but creating a depth of followers. And a good way to do that, to keep people interactive, is to reward them for being your fans, for being their audience. So like we said before, you want to post the most important things across all platforms. And let's say that they follow you on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, etc. Well, those who follow you across those platforms are going to get a more rewarding experience if you post exclusively on certain posts. So just think about like the musicians or like the writers that you follow the most. You follow them across platforms. In this sense, you're just creating a depth of it because you're creating exclusivity for your audience. You're rewarding them for following you across platforms.
So this last point is just simply being a part of the community.
This is encompassing of a lot of things, from reaching out to the community that you're a part of to reaching out to your audience.
Yeah, and I think it's really important whenever someone comments on any of your sites, whether it be on your videos, Facebook or Instagram, it's really important to answer in a timely manner. You don't want, now I get that a lot of us writers are antisocial, and I mean I can be to some extent. I don't want to be out there, I don't want to be talking, I don't want to be doing things, but it is important that you keep that going. And it doesn't matter, like obviously okay, we'll get to the haters in a second, but when talking to your actual fans and audience, you always want to respond, you always want to talk to them, and if they have a question, you always want to give an answer. So basically on your YouTube, if you have one comment, try to comment something in reply. Even if they didn't ask a question,
right.
It doesn't matter. If you just want to say, oh, that's cool, just do that, or thank you so much, it's good that you show your presence on your sites. And then obviously I've had people, like, I'm not going to call them haters, just people that aren't as positive,
right,
I guess, as other people might be. And it's okay to ignore them. Okay, so it is okay to not talk to some people, the people that would say negative comments on your videos. You know, you don't need to respond to that. In fact, I'd advise that you don't.
Right.
You don't want to start a fight. You don't want people to see this aggressive side of you. You know, you want to kind of keep that hidden because you want to show the best of who you are, right?
And if you're going to address them with compassion and understanding.
Absolutely.
They hate that.
I mean, I don't want to sound like pretentious, but you want to basically have the moral high ground. Even if you're wrong, you still don't want to give in to petty fights. You want to just keep yourself above that because there are other things that are more worth your time. And then you have obviously the real haters, people who just straight up just
Trolls.
hate everything you do. And with these people, they're still a part of the community, and you don't want to, like, they're giving you crap for being out there. So you have to remind yourself of this fact that you're doing something they're not, and that may be part of the reason why they're saying, because I've been told before, like, yeah, I don't trust your advice when it comes to writing. And that was like, wow, okay, well, I don't see your videos out there.
Right.
You know, yeah, maybe my advice isn't the best, but I'm still out here, I'm still trying to help, and this is my platform to market my book as well. You know, so it's really easy to throw crap at somebody that's putting themselves out there, but remember, you're out there, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
It's better than being in the background and no one notices you at all. So, and fortunately, in my experience, I've had way more positive interactions on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram than I have had negative interactions. Right. So I like my fan base. I love my viewers. It's just really, it's a great community that we fostered so far. So I don't know what your experience is when it comes to these kinds of situations. What is your experience with your fans or even haters? Like, what do you think?
I knew I made it as a creator when I got my first dislike on YouTube. That's like, do you remember your first dislike?
Yeah, I think I did. Well, I remember my first dislike. I remember my first like writing. Like, it wasn't just a dislike. I think I remember the actual sentence more, or like the phrase that they put. And I'm never gonna forget it. And the thing is, in this case, the guy actually did have a point.
Right.
It was in my book review of. So it was part of my Mortal Engines review, and I did have an audio spike.
Right.
That I didn't give a headphone warning to.
Oh, okay.
And so this guy basically just called me out on that. And so I was like, but did you even? And he's like, yeah, I'm not even gonna watch the rest of this. That was a dick move. And I was like, okay, well, so I had to put headphone alert, and and you just that was like my first real book review. Like, I had a review before that, but this was like my first real try at it. So you also got to understand that you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna do things that people don't like. Don't let that bog you down. Like, I was a little bit like stressed I was like, really? You're not gonna watch the rest of it? But that was the hardest. That was the hardest part to watch, I guess, because of that audio spike. Maybe I'll go back and who knows. But the whole point is just trying to, just push past that. It's okay to make mistakes.
If you expect any degree of success in what you do, you have to be a part of the community. If you want quick gaining success, or if you want lasting success, you need to interact with the people that are buying your product or who you want to buy your product. And you need to interact and reach out to people who can further your success. And that has something to do with networking, which we did cover earlier. But you need to do it in an engaging manner.
And trust me, people are watching. People are noticing your interactions. And it's gonna take time, but I mean, like you said, like you always want to appear involved. Well, you don't just want to appear; you want to be involved in this, because this is, after all, this is your project. This is all stemmed around the backbone that is your novel. So if you look at it like that, it becomes a little bit more important than just, well, it's just a YouTube channel, or hey, it's just a Facebook page. No, it's much more than that, and it's an experience, it's an adventure. And if you look at it like that, the passion, you want that passion to be seen by everybody. Even in your videos like this, like, I mean, I'll go off on tangents all the time. Like, that's pretty much all I've been doing this whole thing. But you want to show that to people so that they can be passionate about it. Because if they don't see your passion, that's not going to be, they're not going to be infected by it either. So kind of as a creator, that's what you want to push out there. You want to be that, so that other people can be passionate about your work. And that's just how it goes. I think it's like a tidal wave after that point.
Yeah. And once if you dive headfirst into the interaction part of it, and you see how excited someone is about your project, about your product, about your book, it just excites you even more. It fires that passion.
Without a doubt. I mean, yeah, I can't tell you already. I mean, I work at a hospital, and I've had people just come in and be like, "Hey, I bought your book. Can you sign it for me?" That is one of the greatest feelings I've ever had. You know, one time I was off doing it, and this person, like, just out of the blue, they were reading a book, and as a general rule, I like to look at people, see what they're reading. You know, so I look, and it's like Knights Without Kings. I was like, "Hey, that's my book." and he was like, "Really? You're J.M. Todd?" I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And a friend of mine suggested it to him,
oh, cool.
And he went out and bought it. So, and you know, I don't know, it's just this word of mouth kind of thing, even on a local scale, is still very exciting. Like, you know, I guess the goal is you want to sell 100,000 copies within the first month or whatever. But for me, I like these personal interactions a lot too, you know? And it's not something that these huge popular writers can understand or experience anymore, because it's on such a big scale for them. So for me, like, you know, if one of them, which is interesting, isn't it? Like, let's just say J.K. Rowling, someone comes up and say, "Hey, I read your book." Well, so is everybody else in the world, you know?
Right.
That loses its excitement. But when someone comes up to me and says that, "Oh my God, you just made my week," because, you know, not many people know about it. So there is a level of uniqueness to this, I guess, low notoriety, I would say. Infamy, if you want to put it that way. Well, that has been it for 5 marketing strategies for writers. I'm Jonathan, and this is J.M. Faupel. And if you want to check out my novel, I self-published it on CreateSpace, and it's available on Amazon on paperback and Kindle. So you can click on the link below to check it out. I also have a Facebook and Insta, which you can follow me, like we mentioned, you know, to get that overall, you know, full experience. Yes. And I have videos like this coming out every Saturday, so if you like what you see here, I mean, you know what to do.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you guys want to see more from me, there'll be a subscribe orb somewhere towards the end of the video. I'm currently working on a new album coming out later this year. I do collaborations with a guy from the Netherlands doing Linkin Park covers, and my next one coming out is a cover of Cascada's Every Time We Touch. This video was about fostering an environment for your products. If you'd like more information, if you'd like a consultation about some more about some page strategies, we'll link to my consultation Facebook also.
Thanks so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. See y'all on the next one. All right. Bye.
So many things I wanted to tell you.
Come on,